Hey guys, I just went ahead and finished Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. It took me about 100 hours. I did all of the side quests in the first area, but I'm not gonna lie. The second area, I did almost no side quests in, so you could probably add another 30, maybe even 40 hours onto that length. Put you at around 130, 140 hours to complete the game. The very fast version of this review, what I've been telling everybody is if you liked the first game, you will love this game. It is just more of the same. If you haven't played the first game, please do yourself a favor, play the first game. These are such wonderfully unique titles, and it's hard to even explain like what type of game they are because they're so unique, and I truly do believe there's nothing else quite like KCD on the market. But let me give you a more in-depth review. Let me give you my pros and cons for KCD 2 and give you my final verdict of the game. The first pro is that the game looks great, man. Especially like the environmental design. It is fantastic. I really think that this is one of the better looking games that's came out in the last few years. And the performance is incredible. This is truly a crowning achievement in terms of optimization across the board on consoles and on PC here. Warhorse has done something that companies literally 10 times larger than them with 100 times the budget of them cannot seem to do. I had everything maxed out on my PC in 1440p, and the game was looking amazing, and it was running at like over 220 FPS the entire time, basically, with no frame gen. That's right. Frame gen can't even be used in this game. Take notes, Monster Hunter Wilds. No frame gen. This shit just runs fantastic. I cannot commend them enough for this. I know people that are well under the minimum specs that are recommended for the game, and they're running the game without any problems as well. So, you know, great job, Warhorse. You love to see this. This is the type of performance optimization I wish every single game would have. This is what I mean when I say a game is optimized well. And I have to be honest, I almost never see this level of optimization while a game also looks this good. Truly cannot say enough high praises about that. In terms of the writing, the storylines, the characters, all of this is just straight up improvements in my opinion from KCD 1. Now KCD 1, it felt like a gem, but it was really like, it was a rough gem. You know, they did not have the budget, they did not have the time to put into it to really like hone the edges of it, and you could tell. This game is just everything I loved in the first one in terms of the quest design, the writing, the dialogue, everything, cranked up to 11 and with tons of polish. I love the quest design in KCD 2 because just like the first game, it blows all other games out of the fucking water when it comes to quests. I mean, every game that you play, almost, it's like, oh, hey, I need this thing. Can you go get me this thing? You go to the place, you get the thing, you bring it back. That's a quest, right? Not in KCD. In KCD 2, it'll be like you need to get access to a wedding. Well, you can either go with the miller or you can go with the blacksmith. Both are going to be wildly different. Or you can do both if you're a little psycho like I did. You know, you just want to be a completionist. You go to the blacksmith says, all right, you know, I need to see that you can make some stuff. Sure, that's pretty straightforward. You go ahead, you do some blacksmithing. Then he goes, all right, I also need you to track down a couple of my workers. They were supposed to deliver a shipment. You go to where the shipment was supposed to be delivered. Oh yeah, we never actually received the shipment. Okay, well, let's ride out and try and, you know, find out what happened to the shipment. You find, oh man, there's a bunch of bandits that have been working with the blacksmiths people. So now you have to decide, man, am I going to talk them out of this? Like, how am I going to approach this? Once again, it's an RPG. tons of decisions, and those do have pretty substantial changes on the narrative of the game and how events unfold. Maybe, you know, you're like me, you just fight them all, you get the goods, you bring the goods back. Oh, well, there's a complication, we need you to do something else, right? Nothing is ever simple in the quest design of KCD, and I love that. It always keeps you on your toes. You never know what's going to come next, and there's just something about that I know some people will hate it. Some people will just want their little fetch quest where they go and they get the thing, but I love the fact that I never knew what was going to happen, other than I knew it was not going to go according to plan. And the quest, the writing is so funny, but also gets very dark and serious when it needs to. But man, there's some really funny writing in the game. All of the characters act exactly how you would expect them to, and you really can kind of mold and form Henry into whoever you want, whether that's a valiant knight that's trying to be, you know, what his stepfather, you know, what Martin raised him to be. Or if you want to just kind of get things done by any means necessary, like this new band that he's traveling with likes to do. And maybe, you know, that's what Radzig would like as well. I love the fact that you can form your character into whatever you want. And for me, this is the cornerstone of an RPG. And when you get my Avowed review in a little while here, once I finish that up and I start talking, you know, about things like Skyrim and why I'm not the biggest fan of them in terms of RPGs, you'll understand why. It's because for me, the most important part of an RPG is making it feel like there's player agency, making it feel like I'm creating a specific character that is going to make changes to the world around me based upon my decisions, and that is going to alter the narrative in a way that is going to make my experience different from my friend's experience and different from your experience. And this game does that in spades. I truly cannot give enough credit to the writing team here. All of the different variations depending on what you do. I was constantly blown away by, oh, what if I do this? And then characters would have unique lines based upon me doing that very thing. It's the type of stuff that you see highly regarded in something like Baldur's Gate 3, and it's on full display here as well, and I absolutely love it. The sound design is also incredibly good. All of the music I thought were bangers, back and forth bangers, man. Sometimes the music was a little bit loud, but for the most part, I thought the music was really, really good. And obviously, the voice acting here is fantastic as well. Henry does a great job. Hans does a great job. New characters, which I won't name because it's kind of spoilery, I guess. They all do a great job. I honestly did not hear a single bad voice actor. Yes, this has the old Bethesda thing, though, of, you know, like Oblivion, where you have one voice actor and he's voice acting for, you know, 36 characters or whatever. Yes, it does have that, most definitely, but that guy's giving it his all, man, and he's doing a great job. And just the world here is... I think really the only way I can use to describe it is immersive. I'm not really somebody that gets immersed into games, I'll be honest, because I'm streaming them most of the time. And you know, when you're streaming them, you got little pop-ups being like, this guy subscribed, this guy followed, this guy donated, or whatever. I'm reading chat the whole time. I'm very keenly aware the whole time I'm playing a game that I'm playing a game, right? And I'm streaming a game. So it's very hard for me to get immersed, but there's really no other way that I can go about describing the world of this game. It's just, you really do feel as if you are in this time period and you are this character and you're building this character. And it doesn't have as much of the like danger and hardcore element as KCD1 had, but that obviously makes sense lore wise, right? In KCD1, you are literally just a blacksmith's son. All your skills are 0. It's a terrible time. You're gonna get your ass kicked. In this game, you know, Henry has a little bit more experience, and while you do get knocked down a couple pegs, you're still like significantly better off than you were at the beginning of the first game. So it's not as hardcore, but it does still have that immersive element where you are just one dude, at least for most of the game. You're just one dude. So you probably don't want to take on that group of 6 dudes. Now, by the end of the game, yeah, you'll be clearing convoys and entire, you know, army camps of fucking 30 plus dudes, easy peasy. But up until that point, it still has that like immersive hardcore feel that I really, really enjoy. Let me give you the cons. There's practically none here, but there are a little bit. One is bugs. Even though they do have a significantly larger budget and it's a much, much less buggy product than the first game, there are still a lot of bugs here. Now, most of the bugs are funny. Most of the bugs are like Henry going to stab a dude in a cutscene and he's stabbing the floor, and then you come out of the cutscene and the guy's just, you know, some funny stuff. I had one where I was in the middle of like in the back of a wagon with a guy, and he was full on ragdolling, flying about, and the entire wagon ride. It was very funny. But some of them are actually debilitating. After a little while of playing, I would see my FPS start to drop to 40, 30 out of nowhere. And obviously, like I said, the game runs fantastically almost the entire time at like 220 FPS, everything maxed out. So upon refreshing the game, closing the game, rebooting it, it would be fixed right back up to the 200 FPS. But that is a bug that needs fixed, and there is apparently some mods that fix it as well. I did have one quest that would not complete for me, and I had to redo this part of the quest, I think 4 times before it would actually work for me. Now, here's the thing. I was playing the game with mods. I was playing the game with the unlimited save mod, which is what I did with the first game as well, and I would highly recommend it if you're a person with a life and you know, you don't want to lose 3 hours of progress because a bunch of bandits jumped you and beat your ass and you forgot to save. So I highly recommend, you know, the unlimited save mod. But if I didn't have the unlimited save mod, or I was on console or something, I would have been fucked when that quest broke. I would have had to load a previous save, and who knows how far back that is. Because remember, you can only save in Kingdom Come Deliverance by using a Savior Schnapps, which is a potion that's a limited quantity. You can brew them if you want to, but you're just going to be sitting there forever brewing those things. You can buy them in limited amount, and you can save when you quit the game and when you sleep, but the game does limit you in how many times you can sleep as well. So there are some pretty hardcore limits on how often you can save, and you could potentially lose a ton of time if you get a bug like that. I will also say that there was a little bit of pacing issues when it comes to the main narrative. If you are somebody that's really like the big battles and stuff like that in KCD1, because there's quite a few, you know, sieges and large battles in KCD1, you should go into this game knowing that there are less. There are less of the big battles. There's very, very few of them. And instead, the main storyline here is far, far more politically driven. It is far more about almost guerrilla warfare, smash and grab attacks in order to, you know, deplete a military power, a whole lot of scheming, a whole lot of talking. So just keep that in mind. If you really like those big set piece moments of KCD1, they are very few and far between in this game. Ultimately, KCD2 is exactly what I wanted out of a sequel to KCD1. It is just more of Kingdom Come Deliverance. And I really, really loved the first game, but I just thought it was a little rough around the edges. And this game is just, it smoothed everything out. It streamlined it. The combat is definitely easier, and that's going to be a plus or a minus depending on who you ask. For me, I don't really mind. That wasn't really the draw of the game. The writing and everything was the draw of the game for me, but it should be mentioned. And overall, I loved my time with the game. I'm going to wait for the DLC to come back before I come back and do the rest of the side content in the second area. But man, oh man, I had such a good time. 100 hours kind of just flew by for me on this one. And if you like the first game, do yourself a favor, play this game. It is incredibly good. It's definitely not for everyone. It is most certainly a niche game. It's a lot like Red Dead Redemption 2 in that regard, where a lot of people will find it boring, a lot of people will find it too slow, but man, I absolutely loved and adored the game. For me, I think this is a solid 9.5 out of 10. Once the bugs and stuff are fixed, I could easily see this being a 10 out of 10 game. I really, really love my time with this. I think it's very close to perfection for what I wanted in a sequel to Kingdom Come Deliverance. And this is obviously my game of the year right now. It's going to be really hard for any game that comes out this year to beat this. I'm super excited to come back to it when they add more content, when they fix some stuff. But let me know what you guys thought. Are you big fans of KCD? Are they not really for you? A little bit too slow? And have you played the sequel at all? What are your thoughts on the sequel? I would love to know. Because, like I said, it's kind of a niche title, but apparently it's owning. Like, it sold over 2 million or 3 million units or something. So the game is kind of owning, even though it's definitely more of a niche title. So let me know what you guys think. I appreciate y'all watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see all of you guys in the next video or Stream Rooney. Bye-bye.